And I think specifically for this matchup, what makes it super cool is that we get the GX3 typically playing the post-plant style, no matter the map. It's typically hanging on to that utility to kind of stop anybody defusing on the spike, whatever it may be. Whereas on the inverse, we saw a whole lot in that last matchup with Shopify Rebellion from CLG. The ability to use the snake bites for more than just a bit of damage, but for the vulnerability, right? Swinging the bonus rounds your way, finding timings when somebody's going to push out and your teammate is going to swing and peek, and they're just getting double the damage because of the snake bites. So we get a nice... I guess it's like a teeter-totter or the yin and yang as to how the Viper utility can be used. So it makes this head-to-head that much more special to me.
Very well said. I know the teams, they're hot to trot, ready to go. I'm going to quickly go over the maps that we're coming into right now. I believe Haven is going to be the first, but Agent Select, it's already ready to go. So I'm going to pass things off the SIG Agent Select. Tanner, Mimi, walk us through it.
All right, well, we didn't get a chance to fully look in at those agent picks, but it's Haven for GX3, or actually CLG picking Haven. Then we go to GX3's Icebox, and finally Split to close things out. Tanner, quick, while we're getting ready for the SIG Agent Select, I want a prediction from you. I'm going to force it out.
I hate doing predictions, although I was wrong and right at the same time that Shopify would win in the last one. I don't know where to go for this. I think for Haven, for CLG to pick into this one, it tells me we know how to beat your cringe comp, and we're going to do it. If we get over to Icebox, I think CLG can take it there. So I think at the end of the day, I think CLG takes it, and I think it is going to be a 2-0.
I think that it's going to be a 2-0 no matter how we slice it. I'm not going to fully hedge my bets towards GX3 because I think they have an opportunity to pull this off. If they win Haven, I think they get the 2-0. But if they're losing out on Haven
No, Mimi. Who is it?
Fine. If you're going to force it out to me, I'm going to be a contrarian. I'm putting my stock in the underdog. I'm going for GX3 here. And as we get to look at our SIG Agent Select, it's GX3 bringing back the cringe comp, and it is CLG over there running the Astra, the double duelist. Kind of an NA standard here, just bringing out the Astra in lieu of that Omen.
Yeah, and it's Benita back on the IGLing, kind of hanging back, information gathering, Sova. So a lot more brain power going into this one. What I love to see here on Haven is Chobo is typically the Sage. Then on Split, we get a little bit of the Raze. Now on Phoenix, and I think that is such a strong agent to be able to make individual plays. And that is where CLG has really come out on top. It's been Claudia and Benito working hand in hand. Usually when they're playing the duelist, we saw it on Bind. It was the same kind of composition where Claudia on the Jet, Benito on the Sova were able to push together and try and get things done. But now you have a Phoenix off the back end. You have those flashes there. You're going to have those run it backs. I think this is a really solid look at a composition, especially with Chobo on that Phoenix. And then again, yeah, I don't know if with the comp that they've built, if they have the counter lineups or what they've done to prep for this, but I think everybody coming into this one understood, right? On top of the homework you have to do for your matchup, you also have to keep in the back of your mind that if we play GX3, we have to figure out how to beat this post-plant comp. So I'm wondering if this is the recipe for CLG.
I'm going to give you another kind of option, another little story we could be seeing here. And it's that they had the confidence going into that matchup against Shopify. They didn't think they'd have to beat GX3. Maybe they thought about it, but they didn't fully focus on taking care of this one. Who knows? Maybe they're ready. Maybe they aren't. That's what we have to find out. It's a lower bracket matchup. Tournament life on the line for both CLG and GX3 as we find GX3 on this attacker side looking to work their way in towards the C site.
And this is the same setup that we've always seen. We get to see a bit of an answer, right? That toxic screen goes up, but we've got a player playing towards the backside, and it's Naomi. Now, with all of the utility that came from the Killjoy, there's no armor. So a headshot from one of these ghosts should be fatal. If they push up here, right, we know the spike typically gets planted just off of default out for long or back towards that double box in the Radiant box. Backside. The screen goes down. Nobody's making a move just yet. It's GX3 biding their time before looking to hit the site. The Stars might just slow things down for a second as they seem to push on and throwing some pings down. Has some information that maybe somebody's in that tight corner with the minute left. I don't know. GX3, we don't like when they work against the clock. They're finally going to start to pull the trigger.
That they will, but look at this utility.
Turret's
CLG is
destroyed.
not letting them. This might be some of that preparation because there's a molly down long. There's still KJ mollies to work with. So GX3, excuse me, forced to re-rotate here. And look at the lurk up mid already from Benita. However, that's just a ruse. They're trying to push on her. Molly's everywhere. No one can see a damn
Spike
thing. But
down.
Naomi from the back lines finds Madison. Still, they need to take care of her. They need to fight her out. And Ally does find
30
the trade.
seconds left.
But it's 2 for 1. Keep CLG in this one, in the even odds.
enemy remaining.
Claudia, a singular frag, a second one off the dash, and now Annie's alone, stuck in towards long, has to fight out against Benita, and that's only the start. A 1v2 still to work with. The CLG, they'll tuck in the Astra in pocket. No time to fully clear this, no time to pull this off as CLG take the pistol.
And they do it very convincingly. The Phoenix in this composition, it works just like you would with the Blaze Wall, just like you would with the Cosmic Divide. You're able to pop flash to the other side, and that's exactly what happened as they took the site. Lacey found the first kill, but a quick trade back, and then the rest of the CLG squad, right? They understand that the play is towards C. They corral the site, and even if they got the spike planted, nobody was getting off that site for free, so there's no post plant to be had. That's how you have to play it. It's only the pistol. There are no rifles involved just yet, and now the anti-eco probably swings the way of CLG, but once we get to rounds 3, 4, 5, if GX3 are still struggling to get that spike down, I think CLG can run away with this one.
Yeah, I think so too. The win condition very much keeping that post plant under control. Now for GX3, every time we watch them, I kind of forget how slow they are till we get warmed up into this. You know, gives us some time to mull over these rounds, think about what's going on. But maybe Claudia's not going to allow that slow play to happen because we've seen kind of two sides of this coin, right? We've seen N2L getting over-aggressive and getting punished, and we've seen kind of TSM getting really, really passive and also being able to punish GX3 in some ways. So how will CLG strike that balance? And thus far, it seems like a little bit of aggression. And, well, who else but Claudia to get that done? A one tap onto Lacey to set CLG in a great direction on this buyout.
Get a couple of any post planters in the chat as Jan and Allie are still alive on the Brimstone and the Viper. Gravity Well going to stop the plant for just a second. That wall goes up. They should just get run down here. Incendiary forced to try and stop. And there it is, a secret lab flawless on the anti-eco. And again, the spike does not go down, and CLG secure another round.
Lab Flawless is wonderful to see out of CLG. They're going to set themselves up with a lovely little bonus round. Claudia, it's funny, she almost always just sticks with her Ghost into that second round. We'll either invest into an early operator or just have a Phantom into this third. So bonus buy, definitely very potent. Also, quick shout out to our producer, because every time there's one of those secret Lab Flawless rounds, he's got to pull it up on his own. He's doing a great job. And, well, CLG, they're looking good on this map. Defense starting out strong as it's Claudia and Chobo together. Actually, Benita in the mix as well, working this fight in towards lobby.
Yeah, and they go smoke for smoke here. Sky smoke for Nebula, and just completely disrespected. They push on into lobby, unfortunately for Chobo. Meets her fate there, staring down the barrel of a Phantom. Benita still holding it down with Claudia. Again, that's the dynamic duo that we're going to be keeping our eye on. As they work together, they usually get a whole lot done. This time, Benita not needed. As Claudia gets the wallbang shot, looks for some more, takes some damage, 40 HP. Forced to use that tailwind to get away as the rest of the GX3 roster continues to play things slow, continues to bide their time and go back to the drawing board to see where that spike is headed.
Anchor stoic in towards C of the Killjoy out of the CLG camp, and it seems well read because Benita has joined into the party, now has her utility in the mix, and I love the way this KJ setup is working. It denies that backside plant that GX3 love. Maybe there was some study put on into this one, but Naomi holding on the other side, waiting to try and find a fight forward here, but Maddie gets the plant down now. This is our first chance to see the GX3 post plant, and how will CLG counter it? Because it doesn't look like there's a flank on the cards just yet.
And this is a tough one because Chobo taking off means you can't really play around the toxic screen. And again, you've got your post planners. You got the incendiary that just went out. Jan gonna peek off the back end of that. Toxic screen gonna go up, so you're taking damage in the sense of a decay should you push through it. Poison Cloud as well. Keeping the CLG roster at bay. Maybe one more snake bite to come on through. Defuse tap here. Rise now looking to stick this one. This time around as Ali swings on it. Jen finds a kill. It's all up to Naomi, but too far away from the spike. And too far out of reach was Ali. Full HP on the Viper as they close things out. And now these were the questions that I had. Is that the round? Can GX3 still squeak that one out, or does CLG shut it down? And things start to get scary when you see that post plan start to work.
I like the fight we've been seeing out of CLG thus far, though. I thought that little A lobby crunch was looking good. They got a frag off of it, got them in the right direction, and we do have to remember, put the little disclaimer that was the bonus. CLG not really expecting to win that. And the fact they got it down to just one player on the GX3 camp, really not a bad outcome whatsoever for Chobo. He's going to tuck in big sneaky here towards mid cubby is Claudia. I mean, she's just so confident. She's always going to take this fight if she can, every single day of the week.
And although
killed my bot.
a buy round for CLG off the back end of the bonus, I'm wondering if they're hanging onto those nano storms because they're not placed down just yet as they go aggressive out towards A lobby. Still fighting for it. They do net a kill. Jan is there to trade it back. This time it's Benita to fall. The Flash is still alive. The Dream's still alive. Try and stop the push out towards C's. And he picks up Claudia. Now A opened up, but here comes Chobo. Was tucked in the corner outside of B. Now gonna be swinging up the rear behind the squad. Takes down Annie and will look to link up with the rest of the CLG roster as they swing their way over towards the A side. A 3v3 to ensue. The sky smokes go down to try and stop. Anybody finding anything from heaven or the back of the side? Lacey gonna tap the plant for just a second. Lockdown used and a bunch of utility tossed out here. Orbital Strike gonna take care of the lockdown as they push out through. Jan not able to find a kill there. It's Naomi to come out on top. This time around, she was the last to fall in a GX3 round win. Now trying to swing things back in CLG's favor. The dink through the box as the snake bite goes down. Ali has a whole lot to worry about here with just 15 seconds on the clock. It's again the clock working against the GX3 roster, and CLG will battle back for another round win.
GX3 knew that was coming. You saw the setup there. Tap on the spike. They were waiting for the gravity well. They were waiting for the lockdown. And Janstone immediately has her ult to counter that one out with the orbital strike. But unfortunately for them, they just couldn't win out the gunfights. Naomi really on a tear here early on. We talked about Rise being one of those players where, like, normally she's doing pretty well for herself, but sometimes she just has one of those games. And early on, this is looking like one of those games for Naomi, which is great to see for this CLG squad, especially as they do get the opportunity to start out on the defense. However, for GX3, this is a full play. Just contact up towards A. However, as a result, they've given Claudia full domain over mid.
And that takes care of the information battle that you need. Oh, Chobo, unfortunately, walking into the curveball just a bit too early. This time around is able to make it work. 3 quick kills, the eco frags to follow, and a secret lab flawless for CLG.
Looking good right now for CLG. This is similar to what TSM did to counter this out, in that they know that GX3 is going to play slow. So they play very, very slow themselves, get themselves just a titch of information, and then they're only sending Claudia, right? Like, they're striking this balance. It's not N2L where everyone's running it down and playing the aggression together. Instead, it's that sneaky aggression, claiming the map control. Claudia, very good at finding that in between, that yin-yang to work with. Chobo here. It is the eco frags, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Great work from Chobo. And now Claudia has an operator, and this can be such a game changer when CLG has it in their back pocket. Drone allows her some space forward, and well, now they're aware, but the first shot does miss.
And Jan flirting with the idea of jiggling this one. Not a great idea, but only we know that. He's still holding the angle, still has the shot. Lacey gonna fall instead. It does allow for Jan to hop on over with the squad, but Claudia, I mean, changes positions to have another angle. Unfortunately, to split the uprights between Ali and Jan, but goes right back to it and finds the shots on target. GX3, they bought up in this round, but it's starting to fall apart as Chobo will find the third for CLG. Now the two remaining, and Jan and Maddie have a whole lot of work to get done. That Phoenix starting to heal up, so Chobo forced to do some of the utility there. The operator still getting the job done. Jan gonna walk right down the sights take the dart down. The shot's through the wall, but it's 1 kill so far with 4 more remaining. The sky smoke, they're going to be queued up. This looking to be planted here, but the gravity well going to deny things for a second. Nova Pulse is there as well. Dancing around the gravity well. Jan still gets one, but it's not enough for the round. 5-1 for CLG. And it looks like, they've got the answers for this cringe comp.
Yeah, they really do. And GX3, they're going to need to talk about that because I feel like thus far, have we seen a match where they've really been tested on Haven? I don't think they played Haven against TSM, so thus far, it's just been domination on this map with GX3, and finally someone has a solution for it. So they're going to have to change their ways, learn how to play around the slowness that CLG is bringing. And I wonder if that has to come in picking up their pace on their own, because what was so successful for Shopify was when they made a forward play. CLG is a team that loves being in control of the pacing, and when you play so slow on the attacker's side, then Claudia becomes kind of the linchpin to set the round in motion, to set the pace towards CLG.
And so I guess a reminder as well, if you didn't catch the matchups yesterday, right, if you are a CLG fan and you weren't watching the GX3 games, we had an interview with Lacey where they said we were going into Game Changers and we needed to broaden our horizons in terms of maps. So we looked into what's the cheesiest, right? We should call it maybe the cheese comp rather than the cringe comp, because I don't want to offend anybody for calling them cringe, but this was a map that they just kind of slapped together with this composition to try and make sure that they could cheese out wins on Haven. So to be able to get this far and doing so, you have to commend that. Yeah. Now the only problem is you run into, again, seasoned veterans who know how to, take care of the stinky cheese.
Well, that they do. B-site, though, is something that I didn't even really think of because it thus far has been locked down by Naomi, but she's opened things up. Just as Swarm Grenades playing into defense, so they should be able to take this site scot-free, and this likely falls to the post-plant position. However, I love this. Ali fighting in towards Link. They're claiming this A-Link position. It's not even a B take. It's B to A. Rise in the position to shut this all down. Benny here, 2 double kill for the Sova. Now it's Rise time. 1 frag out from Annie, but the rest of it stays flawless. CLG counter the play and find themselves 6.
And that is one that you wish you maybe just hunkered down on that B site and got the spike planted. Obviously, given the track record, as you take a peek at the Chipotle instant replay, a near flawless. Anita still holding it down for 3 kills on the site. I believe Rise was right there. And, if you took a look at the GX3 replays and you're watching, them play, it's typically C or B where they want to go. So I think what they were thinking is they could try and get CLG to bite, that they are going to look to take a quick B and play the post plant and instead wrap around towards A. But again, read beautifully by CLG. They don't move. They hold it down on their sites until, well, eventually the rest of the squad just kind of ran into them. So they're going right back to it. B site opened up here. Nanoswarm's going to be used. And in order to get the post plant down efficiently, you have to plant right out kind of in the open towards A Link. Hunter's Fury going to come on through. That spike will be planted. The tags come through. Maddie goes down. Bonita going to net that kill. Now all of the ultimates used actually on the side of CLG as the run it back gets used as well. Rise getting caught out. Lacey able to find a kill through the sky smoke, trying to back away with 16 health, is able to do it. Looks to trade some back. Guiding light goes down. 4 members still alive as Annie looks to go aggressive. Standing inside the hot hands, needs to get out of dodge. I believe Jan sent out the incendiary, so it is buying some time. But now Bonita looking for the defuse. There's the kill. The spike not halfway. Claudia gonna go right back to it. And because of the kill, no way. The orbital strike comes online, and finally GX3 have been able to convert. It forces CLG to save in the 2v2. They're going to hang on to their guns, but the round to GX3.
Really great work out of GX3 in that round to close things out. I thought the round was over when early on Ali died. She was trying to hold for the push C long because she knows how often that happens. And well, she had the right idea, but she just didn't win the gunfight. Was shut down early. And her utility, out of all the utility that they have for the post plant. Hers lasts the longest. This is the old patch, this is client patch 2.11, so it's still the full 7-second Viper Molly. 14 full seconds of time, but the most, the highest tick rate when you pair it with that, with the poison orb as well. So it could have gotten tough that she died there, but thankfully they hold on. The Molly, like you mentioned, allowed the orbital strike to come out, and GX3 find around. But I imagine now CLG is going to change up how they're playing B. See, they positioned now the Jet to play into that position, try and shut them down with a gun instead of utility.
I think we're going to see a lot of that from CLG, right? They're a team that just does what works until it doesn't, right? And you don't have to fix it if it's not broken. So that one time they let up B, it works for GX3, so they have a solution for it. They put a player there. Now, knowing that A isn't really the final destination, a lot of the times for GX3, they're able to rotate Bonita over. And with these kills coming on through, one does get traded back. So 4v4 as we look to go into this one. The toxic screen. And all 4 members from CLG have rotated over. So they could look to once more make a quick hit onto B. But I'm curious as to how much utility is still available, because you have to save it for the post plant. You can't use a whole lot to clear things out, right? We're not seeing the incendiary tossed out backside of the snake bites going. Looks like the B hit will come through. Claudia with the operator, unfortunately can't deal with the wall. There's the Viper's Pit. Lacey able to find the spray down onto Naomi. The spike looking to go down, but Claudia has other plans for this GX3 roster. There's the ace to come on through. A huge round for Claudia.
Oh my god, well Claudia, she saw the issues of the B site and she plugged the hole with blades. Comes out huge to shut down the GX3 play and find her team to advantage, and that's gotta be a tilter. If you're on GX3, right, you commit that Viper's Pit, you commit so much into this round, and then it's just one woman to shut it all down. Time was already against them, so they were forced to push right on into Claudia. They were forced to fight her, and Jan, totally unprepared for that, shut down immediately. It's 7-2 up for CLG, but this is something we didn't get to talk to a lot earlier, Tanner. It's that I would say this comp generally, they're vendor-sided. Every game we have seen GX3 start on the attack, start out strong, so there's never been a situation where we even see what they're up to on the defense, because the attack has always been so potent. So even if we're looking at a 5-7, 8-4, maybe even worse, there's still a good chance GX3 can come back into this. The score looks bad, but don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, I think the only thing that matters for the score right now as to GX3 being on the attack is where their mental is at going into their defense. Because, yeah, this is a composition, right? We see it in Europe. We most recently, you know, watching the Sonics play it, they give up a whole lot. A lot of times on attack, it's 9-3, 8-4. Then they go on defense. Yeah, and they just run the house. There's no way to get on in now. Speaking of no way to get on in, Naomi and Chobo holding down the C side as they look to make a split through the garage. GX3 just has no way in. Jan is able to find one kill in response with the Sheriff, and Lacey, frenzy in hand, will toss out a guiding light. Perfect timing there to not get Jan. And the post plant kind of gone out the window as that incendiary forces Chobo up onto the platform, but it's low HP, so they're going to look to just send it, do all the damage they can. It's 2 kills for GX3, but it's an 8th round for CLG.
Talked about the fact that this comp does definitely favor that defensive side. This is still a winnable situation, but they have to focus up here. They have to put themselves back in a position they can at least pull 9-3, I think, at minimum. And, you know, maybe they need to be chewing their respawn gum or something. Get that focus in there. Get ready to play out the rest of this half, because right now, it's just been Claudia on the op going crazy. They need to find a way to shut her down.
Yeah, when Claudia gets going, there's not a whole lot that is going to stop her from continuing to move forward. So all aboard the Claudia train right now. If you're CLG, if you're a CLG fan, no way. The elbow gets spotted out. The wherewithal from Bonita to spot out Janstone in the corner to find that kill. It does get traded back, and Maddie maybe a little heated after that one. Jan falls. 2 quick kills in response to a resurrection. Now a 2-player lead. Make it a 1-player lead for GX3 as Chobo hops on the board, forced once more to use that utility to top herself off. But a nice wall up towards heaven means Chobo has no way on to the site. Very close to the run it back, and didn't actually use any of
Spike
that
planted.
utility. I thought the blaze wall was going to be queued up there, but not used.
Concealment.
The orbital strike goes through. It's going to stop the lockdown, but it's one more tool to take away from the post plant as they look to push through. Maddie back to her fragging ways. A 4K on the round, trying to match ace for ace here. Unfortunately, unable to do so. Chobo says, no way, Jose. Pops that run it back. Has 3 players to worry about, but only 6 health here in the ult. Will get sent back, and now with 100, let's see what she can get done. A guiding light right to the dome will force her back completely blind as Lacey tries to take the fight through the A side connector, the B side connector, excuse me. Now another guiding light goes through. Lacey closes things out, and GX3 have found their way back into the game.
Last
By
round
the way, those
in
were
the
Maddie's
half.
first 4 kills, I just realized. She was having a bit of a roughie on the start to the game. She was definitely getting shut down. I think in a lot of rounds, because this is the no duelist comp, it falls to that stage and it falls to Lacey on the sky to basically be the duelist, to be the first one in. And oftentimes when you're the first one in, you're the first one into Claudia's sight. So it was a tough start, but now that Maddie's hitting her shots and kind of starting to get this pop-off going, that's when this GX3 squad gets going, because Maddie is just such an insane player. She can change a match practically on her own. She was dropping 30s, I believe, in both the previous Haven games, so I expect her to not let this fall away any further. Chobo, tucked in this corner, has to look away, but gives her position out, and Lacey has the punish. Good start for GX3 as they're looking for an 8-4 half.
I think one of the things too, and this is me personally playing the game, but when I'm playing an agent that, not that these players aren't comfortable on, but when I play an agent that I'm not comfortable on and I'm thinking about the utility usage, I'm not so much thinking about taking fights. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing a little bit, where they're so focused on, we need to get the spike down, we need to use our utility in order to do so, then we need to post plant. And that is kind of the where they just fall into that lull, that pattern. And then the gunfights kind of go out the window. In that round, we saw Maddie just say, all right, whatever. Like, I'm just going to go ham here, and I'm going to take fights, and I'm going to win them. And that's exactly what happened. So now with the utility gone, it was an early wall here in this round, or in the last round of the half. That's not going to be a problem anymore. They're able to just focus on the gunfights, and they're starting to get it done. 8-4, still very doable. Rizo trying to make me eat my words. The shots to the sky smoke not going to go the way of the Astra. Instead, it's Lacey out on top, and Naomi about to meet the same fate, pushing on through to close out the half. A secret lab flawless for GX3.
Switching sides.
Great round there from GX3. They keep things rolling here. And down in those last 2 rounds, they're going to give them the momentum into the half. And now I'm excited because I'm happy that they're being tested, because it means we get to see the full brunt of what this defense is made of. A lot of this is just a Claudia highlight reel, honestly. Claudia was having a standout performance. They're stepping things up. And I think that her on the attacker side, her disrespectful playstyle, actually might work pretty well versus this utility-heavy GX3 play. Because we've seen in some of these previous games, there are situations where GX3 lean too far into it. Maybe they have a little bit of a Celsius peak. They end up with a util in hand. And when Claudia's just dashing on in, completely in your face, it makes you play a different game. And that's what I like about CLG. They can default, they can play slow, but they can also just go crazy on these quick executes. As we see this time, it's a 4-1 split. And what?
Wow, the one defender on the C site taken down through the nebula smoke. Annie trying to find something as CLG cross garage to assume their positions on the site. And now they've got themselves a nice little post plant position. Claudia able to get away with a kill and 3 HP remaining. And now just something you always have to worry about. Where is that jet? Where is Claudia playing? It looks like Maddie has the read on it, but we'll let the jet be for now. All the damage has been done. Curveball in the hand of Chobo. Still able to get the flash. Still able to get the kills. And Lacey needs to do something. But in response to close out the half, CLG bring it back with the secret labs flawless of their own.
Really nice out of CLG there. It shows that they're not going to fall asleep. They're going to keep this pressure up, and now this gets me in a position where we're a little bit worried about GX3 because they had that cushion off the 8-4 half, and now this is likely to fall 10-4. That's way, way harder to come back up against, but I like what they're doing here. Stacking 3 towards A, 2 towards B. I imagine we're going to get some aggression out. Don't let this GX3 squad become a team that stagnates. Don't let this GX3 squad become a team that's just going to sit back and kind of let whatever CLG is throwing happen into them. I'm glad to see them adapting playing forward when that's what CLG is throwing, but it wasn't the right stack. It wasn't the right call. C site's free. CLG will take this. I have very low expectations for the GX3 retake, imagining they're just looking for something.
Nailed it.
Yeah, and this is the problem when Claudia is as fire hot as she is. You can kind of just leave her to be the lurker elsewhere and just to create space. You don't need her to be that entry fragger. So she goes across towards the A side, especially in these eco rounds, just trying to stack up that Blade Storm if she could. Nice little 3K at the end, stacking up the Hunter's Fury. Is Benita swapping over to that Sheriff? And I said it way back on Bind in a 1v3 situation. I said, name a better duo than Benita and the Sheriff. And that has just rung true. In the pistol round here in the second half, right there at the end, even in that round, Benita found a kill with the Sheriff to kick things off in the 1v3. Unfortunately, ended up losing that one, but it is fun to watch Benita wield that weapon and choose to use it over some of these others. Now, with that being said, though, we get to see GX3 wield some weapons of their own. Lacey in a tough spot, though. That Sky utility, awfully expensive. So it's going to be light shields for the Sky and the top frag on the GX3 squad.
Well, looking at aggressive here in towards B. There's a utility to save her off, but she pushes so far forward. Janstone ready with the frag. Claudia does trade back, will knock Jan out of the server, and now the plant goes down B. CLG, they're not a full post-plant team like GX3 is, but they still have Astra utility, they still have KJ utility, so this post-plant stays potent, especially when Claudia's alive. And Claudia is taking these forward fights. Maddie wants to trade this back, needs to trade this back with the utility in hand. Still keep her life. 3v4 in this situation. Manny does even the odds, and she doubles down. So Claudia here, 3K now up for the Jet. Rise in the backlines to close, and it's Claudia going huge for 4.
I mean, just a Claudia diff here on Haven. 11-4 the scoreline. An ace, a 4K, followed by a 4K with the operator early in the game. Really feels like there is no stopping this Jet on the side of CLG, and that is why, again, you just see so much space opened up. The forward fights, we saw Maddie caught with a slow orb, trying to slow Claudia down for a second, almost paying for it with her life, and then eventually falling. This is one of those things where the analysis isn't just it's only kills, but Claudia is really making this a micro game. It's all coming down to the spray downs. It's all coming down to the shots, the positioning, the timing. CLG just have everything in their favor. 13-4 on the horizon here. The yard sale buy to come out from GX3. They have to string together 8 in a row here on defense.
I've been really impressed with CLG. They come out from a really tight, really tough loss, and they come right in here fragging. Like, it's almost like they're playing with a little bit of anger from that previous game. They're like, we really could have won that, but we're going to make this lower bracket run huge. We're going to try and come back into this. This is basically the same story from the last game changes, which I think is funny. In that one, Moonracoons knock CLG down to the lower bracket, and then they go on to lose against C9. And CLG runs it back, beats the Moonracoons, makes it to that second place finish in the grand final. So who knows, we could see a repeat story, as it is CLG proving themselves absolute warriors down in this lower bracket with their backs against the wall. They're about to close, possibly here, as site is secured, and Lacey, she's been found towards short, shut down by Rise. So now the post plant in play here. No, they could still have time to rotate out, but look at, there's a player holding on to the flank. This could go huge for GX3.
Lockdown destroyed there. Ali up top has the high ground, has a couple of kills as well. Spike now down on the ground, needs to be retrieved as Maddie tries to bring up the rear with their squad. Ali for 3. Rise the last one standing. Those ones on the flank, spots her out, can't take her down. GX3, hold on.
I can name a better duo than Benita and the Sheriff, and it's Maddie and running around with the Spectre. She's so good with that gun for some reason on this Sage, so good to see her finding a little more impact in this game. Ali especially going huge up towards Heaven. CLG, I think that when they did destroy that lockdown, it really stagnated them, right? It forced them to pause, it forced them to take a second, and that's when GX3 just went on the aggression. Well, they were distracted, they gunned down CLG, find their way to 5, so still a rough scoreline, but they're staying alive for the moment.
Maybe the Viper's Pit will get a bit more value here on defense than it did on the attacking side for GX3. Seeker's available as well, so as we get deeper into the round, should GX3 need some information, they could toss those bad boys out. If you're looking to make a play C, and if you could creep up into that cubby, the lockdown, it wouldn't open up the site completely, but it would get rid of that Viper's Pit. So still an avenue of approach, but it looks like they are going to opt into using that one. Over towards the A side as Lacey is there to trade things back. Claudia's still alive though, and Jan may be unaware. It's the utility again. Getting caught with their pants down here. It was the slow orb. It was then a guiding light that we saw from Lacey in that last round. And then a stim pack to come on through. Claudia cleans up 3 kills on the round, and this should just be the end of things. Zally, the last one standing, gonna go toe-to-toe with Chobo in the ultimate. Run it back. Then back from whence it came, but the damage has been done. The footsteps have been heard. It's 30 health on the Viper in 13-5 fashion. One more round, and we had it given them. CLG will close things out.
Yeah, great work from CLG. That map, it felt pretty one-sided, if we're going to be honest there. Like, CLG, they came into this matchup prepared. They were looking good from the beginning. There was a couple moments of greatness from GX3 when they did get that spike down and could play the post punt. It was cool, but it almost feels like this Haven map for them is a bit of a one-trick pony.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, it's a cheese comp, right? That's kind of, they didn't have a whole lot to do it. We talked about it coming into it. You just think it was 6-1, 5-1. It works. We've seen GX3 run the show on Haven and just completely dominate. But then you play against some teams that have been around the block. They understand how to play against the cheese. And then I guess the ultimate cheese stomper is Claudia, right? When you're just the frags on frag. What do you even do? That's something that's unaccounted for.
Yeah, I mean, it's really so hard to deal with Claudia, and while I don't expect her to slow down as we do head our way on over to Icebox. But before we can find out if GX3 is going home or if they can hold on tight in this lower bracket, we'll throw things to a quick break. It is life or death for GX3 after this.
What you got? Show me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the the money in the bank.
Welcome back to the Verizon VCT Game Changers presented by Dignitas. This is the final series of the day. This could potentially be the final map of the day. It just depends if GX3 can pull an upset here, buy themselves another life, another map. As we pull up the highlights and the replays, let's start things off with Mimi. Let me know what went down here. This lineup that we talked about, the no duelist lineup, it did not work out for GX3.
I think Claudia happened. In a big way. Like, literally, this is just the Claudia highlights reel. Every single one of those, like, Chipotle instant replays is just Claudia going huge. And I don't want to act like CLG is this one-trick pony, because the rest of the team was popping off as well. But sometimes there's a player that you can just feel. And for this match, in a big way, it was Claudia. For GX3, I think we talked about this a little bit at the end, Tanner, that I thought there was almost an over-reliance on the post plant. As soon as they started to get shut down, the post plant wasn't really working. The whole strategy kind of fell apart. And while we'd hoped, we had thought that this defensive side would be stronger for them, they lost the pistol. It was a 9-3 half by that point. It's so hard to come back from 11-3. It's nearly impossible, and obviously didn't quite work out in their favor.
Yeah, it felt like, and we kind of talked about it during the matchup, whereas it was so post-plant heavy, they weren't really thinking about, I guess the direction was mostly, we need to go from point A to point B, get the spike down, get off the site. They weren't really thinking about taking the fights or, just all the small things, all the micro stuff that comes into play. It was an overarching umbrella of macro play, but you need to make sure that you're winning the fights out first. We saw a couple of flashes where, Maddie was getting in there, Ali was getting there, and they were just fighting. They kind of threw caution to the wind like we've seen previously, and it was the utility tossed on out just to fight, and those were the rounds that they were winning. Unfortunately, that only happened 5 times here, but yeah, I think coming into the next one, maybe a bit more, I don't know, I guess focus. It's not so post-plant heavy on Icebox, so we get to see a bit more of that focus on just fragging out, which is what Maddie usually does best, and on Icebox, she's usually on the jet, so I think this bodes well. But CLG, heavy in the driver's seat, and if Claudia rides this momentum going to the next map, I don't think there's any team that could beat him at this point.
For sure. We're looking at the numbers on the screen right now. You see that it's just, like you said, the Claudia show. Even like from that map stats, I found it so interesting that GX3, they only had one objective win. You looked at the timeline. I don't even know if they got the spike down because there was no actual diffuse wins on the side of CLG Red. They just fragged out. Claudia just demolished with any gun pretty much in her hands. So it was insane, and that's probably, like you said, the way you countered the cheese. But we kind of touched up on it before. We saw Haven. We are coming into the second map now, and this is Icebox. This is the pick of GX3, so I'm sure they're looking to turn things around here. But CLG Red, we've seen them already perform on this map, so it kind of comes down to how are they going to fare if they're so well versed in this, and what does GX3 have in their pockets to keep themselves alive? And I'm going to touch up with Tanner on this one, kind of see what your thoughts are on it.
I think headed over to Icebox, it is now a normal composition, I guess I would say. It's you're gonna have your duelist, you're still gonna have your Viper, you're still gonna have your Sage, but now you have Maddie on the Jet, somebody that can just worry about the fights. And we probably get those Jet v Jet anime duels here in this game with Claudia. I think the cool changes that have been made from CLG is they have put, the last couple times we've seen it, Benita back on the Reyna. I think it opens up a whole lot. So outside of the Jet battles, we're also going to have Jan and Benita on the Reynas. And we know that both of them like to have their jobs of lurking, whether it be lurking out towards B while the team's hitting A, or Jan hanging out towards A while the team is hitting B. So we get a really cool teeter-totter, and I think that's what it comes down to mostly.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that this could go either way, but CLG, they're looking hot. I think this is definitely their opportunity to close out things strong, but who knows? Maybe GX3 still has something in them yet.
Maybe, and there's only one way to find out as we head over to the SIG Agent Select. Mimi, Tanner, take it away.
All right, well, Agent Select on the cards here, and I'm not expecting anything crazy. I think both these teams are very strong at Icebox. It is the pick of GX3, but I imagine they only chose Icebox because Haven was off the cards, right? Because that was the choice of CLG. And CLG, in these earlier matches on Icebox, have looked really, really strong, taking that map, away nearly from Shopify. So it's close, but this is definitely still CLG looking favorable for GX3. It's the double duelist. It's Jan on that lurking Reyna. It's Maddie on that very fast, flashy entry. And this really sets us up as well for kind of the double Viper. It's Ali v Rise in these very crucial roles.
This is the coolest thing when you kind of piece together a head-to-head and you get to see it, come to fruition. I think this one a bit more meaningful, because it's not the post-plant heavy. Ali needs to, hang on to those toxic, or the snake bites, excuse me, on Icebox. It's not going to be the same way. Haven is a map that GX3 plays so incredibly differently. Now that we come over to Icebox, we get a better glimpse at the head-to-heads, whether it be the Vipers or, like I said, the Jets, the Reynas, the Sovas, the Sages. I believe we have a mirrored composition for the most part. Yeah, mirrored across the board here. So this is, this is the best way to clash right here. You got your life on the line for GX3. You jump one into the pistol, starting on the attack, and all eyes on Maddie here. See what she can get done.
We will have to see, but this battle, so much history, could end now for GX3. Their backs very much up against that wall, and they're looking for something a bit more aggressive. On Haven, they're very much focused on that slow, that defaulty style, but on Icebox, they're not afraid to let loose, and that's exactly what they're doing, but it's Benita, of all players, to greet them.
Spotted out though, so Benita not going to get the same value this time around as Maddie takes the fight right to her. It's exactly what we were expecting here. You do have that gap underneath Tube again with that toxic screen, but the barrier orb goes up, the spike goes down. Now a 5v4, making a 4v4 as Chobo hops on the board. Jan taken down, so flashes off the board. The Reyna not going to get much done, 6 feet under. Cloudburst going to stop things for a second, but we know Claudia gets just as aggressive. Looking to take the fight right to Lacey. Wall goes down, the counter wall. The spike gets halfway. They knife on through it. There's the Poison Cloud playing inside the Toxin. CLG coming out on top, thriving in the chaos. The green screens are there, but CLG, no matter, will steal the round away.
Really nice start there from CLG. I love that they just plop that wall down, immediately commit to sticking that almost all the way for Chobo. It forces the side of GX3 into an incredibly awkward position where they have to fight forward. Normally, if you give them a little more space, a little more time, then they have the backup plan of Ali's Viper snake bites, but that didn't happen. CLG was ready. CLG still looking very hot as they have the buy up. They have the advantage into this second round. And for CLG as well, this Viper wall pretty interesting. I think we've seen them do this before. It's all the way from A deep down to cover mid, and that actually bites off a good bit of space for their squad. But Claudia, she doesn't have that much space to work with. Still sliding under it, gets one on to Maddie, but she's revealed. Needs to keep fighting here. Annie next up to bat and bests her with the right click. So even trades in this site looking vulnerable.
In the pickup of that Marshall, though, it tells me that Claudia is leaning towards the operator, right? Getting her licks in with that scoped weapon. Typically, we see the Ghost hang on, or I guess the opposite way. We see
Standing ahead.
Claudia hang on to the Ghost. There it is. Wow, that was deleting my brain. I could not get that one out. As now we are in the anti-eco. Things have slowed down. GX3, they've hung on for a bit longer than I was expecting as they look to go back to try and stop the flank. Benita will be answered, and with that, maybe the spike to follow. The toxic screen is up. Rai's gonna push on through it. Now the spike is down.
Spike down B.
There's not a whole lot that Ali can get done in a situation like this. Very low HP on the Viper. Damage done onto 2, maybe one more member here. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. A 3K for Rise as we go into the first buy here for GX3 and the bonus for CLG.
There's the bonus buy out of CLG. GX3, it's not the worst round possible for them. They at least get a little bit of damage, couple kills taken care of. But Benita's flank was nice, and I thought it was well controlled as well. That she didn't overcommit to it. She didn't overfight that one. She just waited for the perfect time to strike, and that she does find, besting out over Ali. I don't know if we brought this up, but the history here, especially between Ali and Benita, is crazy. Both of which are like the main kind of core of their roster. Both are CS veterans. At one point, were world champions in the women's scene for CS. So there's so much kind of cool stuff behind both of these teams. But right now, Benita's team, CLG, they're just looking a tad bit better as GX3 trying to press this matter in towards the B site.
Yeah, and that's an interesting snake bite tossed out. I guess if you don't do it now, when can you do it? As Rise taken off the table, the wall goes through. It will be handled in a slow orb.
You will not
Try and stop anybody from pushing on in. Maybe a call out on the resurrection as Maddie comes up. What comes up must go down. A couple of quick kills swing things back in favor of CLG, and this is the bonus round. This is the round that GX3 needed to start to get things going, and unfortunately unable to do so thus far. Jan, 1 kill away from being able to find a Devour and heal up, but 35 HP separates the Reyna here from death, and the spike is on the opposite side of yellow.
Standing ahead.
I like that CLG, again, not over pushing this. They have the advantage. They know that GX3 is so dangerous.
30
so this
seconds
respect is good. But Jan, she's just pushing straight
One
forward.
enemy
Has the
remaining.
overheal off of that Devour, but look at Benita. Double kill, make it 3 for the leader from the back lines of Snowman. And CLG make it look nice and easy there in the bonus.
Oh, it's scary. You've got just about everybody fight. We're very early in this game, but like finding those kills, finding those shots. Rise coming up huge. Chobo still deathless, although I probably jinxed her. This is the CLG that we saw against Just Breathe, and it's a breath of fresh air, right? They have the backup when they need it. They have the kills when they need to find them. Now with the daggers going up top, Claudia forced to back away, only taking a bit of damage. Still A-okay to look for another fight. Unfortunately, only having the 3 daggers online out of that Blade Storm. This round should be the 4th for CLG. Need it once more. On the flank, on the lurk. Doing what Reyna's do best and taking these 1v1 duels. Able to find the first. Now looking for some more. Lear goes through. Somebody's going to have to answer to that one as the tag comes out. And Claudia hops off the blades, back onto the Ghost, finds a couple of frags. And Jan, at the very least, is going to make sure that it's not a Secret Lab flawless round here in this one. But that's basically all you could hope for. A weapon picked up. Now dreams to be made here as Lacey tosses out a couple of shots with that Sheriff. Has the recon bolt. Wherever they head, they should be able to grab a bit of information, but wherever they go, it will be a 2v2.
GX3 just must absolutely despise Claudia right now, because they just cannot kill her. She just gets so aggressive, whips out the ghosts on them and gets a 2K that you can just always see how confident she is, how strong she is in these positions. But now this round gets pretty losable because there's an Empress up for Jan. Claudia's on no HP. No way she gets another kill here with the pistol, but she's up and over the top. No one's watching for a double ding, maybe 4. Claudia somehow pulls off the impossible with just a pistol in her hand.
Here.
So you have Benita and the Sheriff. You have Claudia and the Ghost. You have Chobo and picking up 4 assists in that round. It was 5-0-0 for the Sage. Now 4 assists picked up as Claudia get the instant replay presented by Chipotle in the closeout there. Another multi-kill. And just when you thought Benita gets a little bit of the limelight, you know, making her way up the kill feed, gets a nice little 3K, Claudia just steals it back, snatches it away. Now 6-3-1. The economy for a handful of those players for CLG just so good moving into the next few rounds in GX3. I mean, this is the young squad. This is a squad that I do think can have a bit of a damaged mental, or not necessarily in a toxic manner, but just feeling down on yourselves. I mean, how could you not feel down about that? Through the Lear, Benita will find a kill. Claudia able to hop on the board as well, and I thought Claudia was prepping for the operator, but instead it's with the Vandal. 2 kills. Make it 3 as Claudia looks for another Naomi there to back it up. It's the buddy system that worked before. It's the buddy system that'll work again as Benita goes for the Batman no scope, not able to find it, and it's Claudia for 3.
That's just that's insane. The Benita lives there and can just hop around. I honestly like it that CLG is just kind of running it down, getting a little bit disrespectful. They're trying to get in GX3's heads, and I have a feeling that they are starting to live there pretty easily. Now this comes down to Ali, Maddie, the players who have played comp a tons of competitive experience from their respective games to bring out. They've got to center everyone. They got to make sure all the young players are staying good, staying strong mental-wise, and can reset. I think in one of the interviews they said that like Ali's almost like kind of the center of the team in that way. So they're still very much in this game, especially if Madison can pull off something huge with the Blades, and she has a strong start.
And an operator to boot there picked up after finding that kill on Benita. Oh no. Ali with another huge kill. Trying to get GX3 on the board. The wall will stop a push through kitchen momentarily. The rest of the team going to make their way, set their sights on the B side. Annie trying to plant on the opposite side of the barrier orb. Shock Dart's going to push Rise back. The spike will go down. Recon Bull will get the information. But for the rest of the members here, -2, it's the lower arsenal, right? It's the sheriffs to come on through, and somehow they're still able to get it done. The Hunter's Fury going to be queued up now. Shot out from yellow. Rise has this information. It's a 2v2 situation. The Blades are still online. The Viper's Pit thought about for a second, as 1 dagger is all it takes to sit Claudia down on 28 HP. Rise up close and personal, and there we have it, a Virus Thrifty to get GX3 on the board.
Huge round. The Virus Thrifty coming through at exactly the right time, and it was Madison's Blade Storm to really be the kind of linchpin in that round, set everything in the right direction. If they had lost that round here, it would have been 6-0 down. It would have likely been a tactical pause forced out of GX3, but now they have an operator for Maddie. We know how good she can be with it, and I like that she's setting up for this duel towards mid. With this operator, it allows GX3 to lean into that slow style, right? They can wait for CLG to bring the aggression to him. They can wait for, you know, Claudia to do Claudia things and get too far forward. They can punish those mistakes, and well, that's the hope, but they still have to finish it in practice. Rise eliminating this time, double dipping into the smoke, but Ali, good on the shutdown.
But the decay is still slowly wearing off. Had anybody peeked out into Chobo, there's been a couple of easy frags, but not going to be the case. They do back away, stay nice and healthy as they look to retake here. B seems to be what's on the plate here. GX3 still battling. This could be 2 in a row. The economy's still good for CLG, so they still have the weapons. Unfortunately, they don't have the manpower. As Chobo falls, the site opened up just a bit, and Claudia swings to go aggressive, finds one onto Ali. Toxic screen should fall down. Resurrection comes through. Lacey narrowly missing out on that one. And I mean, Claudia just can't be stopped. Again, it's a 3K. Are we going for 6 here, Claudia? Who can stop the Jet?
Doesn't seem like anyone is seeming able at this moment. They're forced to re-rotate, and how could you not? Because Claudia is a force that cannot be trifled with. Still, GX3 in a position where this is winnable. It's even odds at 3v3. There's a Viper Pit up that can come down for Ali, but if it's not Claudia, it's Benita, and she's holding the perfect line to deny this play.
And GX3 again are running out of time. The Viper's Pit go down. They look to push on. Benita gonna push right through it. There's the spike down on the floor. No time on the clock. They have to find all the kills, but they just can't do it. Time has expired, and CLG will find their 6th.
Oh, that's insane out of CLG to be able to pull that off, to be able to hold that through. Claudia, wow, just the impact that she has in this server is wild. I was kind of hypothesizing that maybe with the operator in Maddie's hands, they can try and shut her down, but nope, guess not. That's just not happening. Benita as well, in the Chipotle instant replay here, finds her impacted. 6-1 on the scoreline. The economy is pretty darn good still for CLG, and I like that Maddie's picking up this pace. Take this fight straight to him and try and get something done in mid.
Down 6-1, a map down as well. At what point do you just let loose? That's what we're seeing a little bit right here as Maddie tosses out a cloudburst. Gonna keep her safe from that kitchen area. Chobo was just peeking over. Unfortunately, couldn't spot out the jet. Owl drone. Grab the information that Maddie is still hunkered down on top of that tube. Cloudburst onto boiler. Cloudburst on the bottom of tube. And Maddie will be able to back away. So really heads up play there by CLG to not give Maddie anything. Nobody was peeking out to allow the jet to start to frag. Now it's going to be Benita. Empress dethroned here as that ultimate was used. Now it is gone. Another kill to come on through, this time into kitchen. It's Naomi, no longer Chobo, as she since rotated over to the site, but there it is on the exit of kitchen. Chobo falls. Claudia trying to match these frags. The wall goes up and stops a push for now from Snowman. And only 2 remain. The blades are online. Jan is still alive. And that off angle out towards kitchen. Maddie's still up as well. Unfortunately, cast her curse. Maddie now 6 feet under. A 1v3 for Rise. A doable round for Rise as well. The top of the leaderboard for her squad. A handful of these games. Unfortunately, not going to have the angle plan around the barrier orb. Annie Mall able to help GX3 push across the finish line here for another round win. It was heroics from Maddie that got things started.
Really was. Maddie going big in this round, and I love the way they play things. Once they have the advantage, they're not letting any hubris get over them. They're not letting these mistakes be made because they know how valuable these attacker-sided rounds can be. They'll hold tight in the 1v3, and despite the fact that CLG has found a really good streak of rounds here, that isolated win out of GX3, out of the Virus Thrifty, really has kind of reset the bonus a little bit that CLG picked up off of that loss, and means that there is just a sheriff out for Benita. But look at this play, Tanner. There's already a flank coming through. GX3 is going to be pinched, and Ali has to be the one to fight out.
And this is a scary spot because it's Benita with the sheriff. The shots do go wide. The Lear goes out, not going to find anything just yet. Pushing onto the side though, Maddie. Chobo's able to find that kill. Chobo finds another, still holding on. Claudia on the flank. Finally gets the value they need, and for GX3,
enemy remaining.
able to cut the numbers down once more. But it's a 3K again for Claudia. Misses multi-kill, and cover your eyes, kids. 18-5-1. You're not allowed to look at the kill feed. What Claudia is doing, look away. Everybody look away.
Yeah, it's really not okay what she is doing to these people right now. And I don't know what the deal is with EG and Claudia at the moment, but if she's able to get on with CLG and CLG can sign her, I think that would be a pretty good addition, because she is just pulling CLG over the lines in so many of these situations, and it feels like she's been plug and play, right? Like there hasn't been any issues with synergy. She's meshing with the rest of her team and doing so well at it. Maddie again with the blades has to, again, make herself a hero, but look at Rise up top. Shut down. It's a double for Maddie. The right clicks seem to be the solution for GX3 as they find themselves an advantage and open up this B site.
The Resurrection invested, make it a 2-player advantage as they continue to try and score. Side, Maddie able to find the shots. It was sloppy, but the job got done. Claudia taken off the board, so chipping away at that KDA that Claudia's got built up for herself. The spike to be planted. The wall goes down, and the spike, okay, does go down as well. And Naomi, the last one standing in a 1v3 situation, almost stripping the spike out of the hands of Annie. Not able to do so. It gets a whole lot harder here. Has the utility to work with a couple of shock darts. The Owl drone, should she need it. Looking to go aggressive. Caught with the bow out. Able to find one on top of the gray box. Ali will have the shots on target. Naomi falls. And it would have taken an ace. It was close. Either way, GX3 come out on top.
GX3, this is a better look for them. 5-7, definitely still a possibility. And I think just letting loose, playing like you have nothing to lose is exactly what they need to do. It felt like they were getting stressed out a little bit in that first match. Things started to kind of get sloppy, but here, they're just letting Maddie do Maddie things, letting her go forward, find the entries for the squad, and I think that's a perfect way for GX3 to play around this. I feel like Maddie and Claudia are two sides of the same coin, right? They're these really insane jet players that when you let them loose, let them make the plays, they'll completely change the game. But when you cage them up, when you don't let them just do what they want to do, then it starts to get a little bit more rough. But right now, the Bucky almost finding that frag, but still, it's a double up for GX3. Bonita trying to fight forward, denied by Ali, so advantage by 2. And the site again secured towards B. However, no, Naomi making a play, kills the enemy mall. The shots from the Hunter series not connecting, but Maddie sure do, as it's Showboat in the clutch. If she finds Maddie, she opens this into a 1v2, can get that resurrection up, but they're back to back, no one looking, and Maddie knows. Maddie finishes things off, and GX3 already on to 4 here.
Last round before the switch.
A really solid way to battle back when everything, it seemed all in favor of CLG for a while. They've been able to kind of silence Claudia and suppress the Jet a little bit. 7-5 obviously would feel fantastic. Taking a peek at what they have coming into this round, it looks pretty doable. A CLG, they do really have a way with these thrifty rounds and these eco buys, so you can't count them out just yet, but get a Judge, a couple of Spectres. So the Marshall coming out, and I would imagine the utility a bit damaged as well. The Empress is available for Jan. It's a tough ball to get out there, though, because typically Jan is on the flank, and I don't know if you're wanting to pop that ult and go across the map. You want to try and fight with the team. Jobo, speaking of fighting with the team, it's going to go aggressive all by her lonesome. Find a bit of damage. Could be healed up either way.
I really like that wall boost. I think we did see something along those lines yesterday from CLG as well. It gives them a lot of space to fight forward, to hold down B main control, and B main control was really their main issue. So they're able to battle back, but they do lose a kill in towards mid. Claudia is here, and now she has the Blade Storm. This gets that much more of a round that's possible for CLG, and somehow Bonita gets 2 with the Spectre. Lesser weaponry, not an issue for her, but Lacey finds a trade. So Claudia here with the Blades. It's Maddie to shut that down. And it's a 2v2. Working on the retake here for CLG as there's a resurrection in play. It's the Judge on Rise's back.
Maddie taking the fight right to her, up close and personal, and that's where the Judge comes out on top for both the kills. Rise closes it out, and CLG, some way, somehow, nobody can wrap their head around it, but on these eco rounds, on these thrifties, they're able to get it done. A Virus thrifty for an 8-4 half as they mount their attack.
Switching sides.
Insane round there out of CLG. The Judge just doing tons of work. That was an eco to start things off, but it's the Virus thrifty to close on out. And GX3, they've been kind of struggling on these pistol rounds against CLG. So CLG can pick this one up, just get the momentum on their side early. They're going to set themselves on the right direction, especially since this attacking side lends itself so well to what Claudia can do on this roster.
And we kind of get a nice little Jet replay package here because it was Claudia doing so much. It was Maddie in a lot of the clutch situations opening up some of these rounds for GX3. And we've seen kind of a give and take where Maddie's trying to do what Maddie does best, but CLG won't give it up. And a couple of times they do, and you see what happens. GX3 wins the round. So CLG kind of holding steady. Oh my goodness, that's gotta sting. Ali had the surprise there, but Claudia still finds a way to find the kill. And if you blinked, you missed it. It was a 1-for-3 over towards mid in the B site. The spike to be planted, the wall goes up. So incredibly powerful here on the pistol. GX3, this is, I mean, you send it, sure, but I don't know if they pick this one up.
Hard to say. This went set up for CLG, looking good. They have the mollies in the back pocket. They have the shocks in the back pocket, and recon forward will allow this fight to manage. She still has the tailwind, so can commit to these duels, but it's only the 1-for-1. Not good enough, and Lacey in the 1v3 has no shot. It's Chobo to seal the deal.
That, I don't know if it was a right click or a left click from Ali to kick things off down B long, but the element of surprise, it was all there. Sometimes the classic, it just doesn't perform. It doesn't pull through when you need it to. And I think that round would be completely flipped had they found that early kill onto Claudia and whoever else was there. They got a bit of chip damage, but sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Now 9-4, quite possibly 10-4 is a little bit of a buy up coming out from GX3. They invested a bit into some upgraded pistols. They're going to look to play the tight angles here, but CLG, they're ready for it. They've done their homework. They understand that a play towards mid, imminent after losing that pistol with the Bulldog. Benita takes a bite out of 2. Claudia picks one up over towards A, and heaps of damage here. A right click and a chip away at Claudia, 72 HP, but the last 2 here corralled on A. The spike headed over to B, and it's just Frag City now, 2 away from the Blade Storm, but Jan gonna make it hurt. Not gonna be a flawless here. A weapon picked up, and an overhealed Reyna could prove to be a thorn in the side of CLG.
Had a good chance for Jan in this round, but CLG, they're onto her. You have heard the footsteps. Naomi looking to just finish off this con. Jan ends that one out, but Rise very quick, very apt to pick up that trade. So CLG, they find their way into double digits. And for GX3 now, what can they do to find their way back into this one? You lose the pistol, you lose the bonus, you have money up into this next one, but the bonus rounds for CLG are always so good because like we mentioned, Claudia's a bit of a ghost warrior. She'll have a rifle. Benita will have that Bulldog, as well as Naomi buying up onto one of her own. So this gets super scary. And with 3 players on light armor, you lose this round, game's practically over. You're practically out of the tournament. So much rides here for GX3. They absolutely need to pick up this round. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it's the A site from which they have to do it.
Nita with the Bulldog again, going to work. Unfortunately, the Lear not going to do its job. Jan and Maddie able to get a couple of kills. Jan back on the board for 2. CLG be losing out on that trade. 3 for 2 in favor of GX3, but Naomi is there to battle back to take a bite out of the rest of the squad. Now Ali needs to come up clutch. All the experience and all the weight on the shoulders here of the Viper. It's the half armor. It's 2 snake bites to work with. Lurk around towards the back of the side. Fight with Rise. It goes the wrong way for GX3. CLG to 11. And we'll see what GX3 can muster with the economy that they have.
Well, CLG is looking to send GX3 home in time for dinner because they are just, I mean, they're just dominant in this match thus far. Claudia is 22-11, and I know we don't always, as casters, like to be just statistics Sandies and talk about how many kills somebody's getting, but that's something you cannot ignore. You cannot ignore a player like Claudia who is just being a one-woman wrecking ball, shutting down every play you're trying to make. For GX3, all they can really do here is keep the mental strong, play things one round at a time, and in this one, they can hope that Maddie's Blade Storm can go big again.
The Blade Storm was the saving grace on the attacking side. Now needs to be that on defense. Ali spotted out. Claudia picks one up with the Sheriff. Ali's able to trade it back. Pistol to pistol. Kill for kill we go. The blades go up top. 1 for 1 goes Benita. So the trades are even across the board. Maddie still working on things. Full HP, full daggers to work with. Snakebite gonna push off a corner of 1. Lacey will fall in the hands of Chobo, but Maddie there to right the wrongs. Again, a 2v2 situation. Now a 1v2. Maddie needs to hang on and get something done. It's match point on the line here. Recon Bolt for the information. The tags through the wall, but still very healthy in the Jet. Unfortunately, your health doesn't matter if you don't have the time. 1 frag onto Naomi. Now needs to find Claudia here in this one. Cloudburst goes through. Might just stick it halfway. No, hops off, finds the kill, but I don't know if she's got the time. I think it's just a millisecond too late, and there it is. Almost 2 whole seconds. Late as a 4K on the round, but it still swings the way of CLG.
Match point.
Oh, that's so painful for GX3. That was their best chance into it. Maddie, she's trying her damnedest to pull this through. Yesterday it was the Jan backpack, and well, today it's Maddie's, but no one's quite big
enemy
enough
remaining.
to stave off what CLG is playing here. Again, their post-plant setup is great. They have all these duels isolated, and yes, Maddie does find those frags on her own, but everyone's spread out enough, has positioning late enough that there's just no time for her to get that spike done. There's ults up for CLG in this one, but Maddie has the op. Maddie can really be a match changer to keep her team in this if she can get some impact done with the op. But Ali, aggressive past the Viper wall, very much feast or famine play in her team this round. The minions are rooted, and well, it looks the better. She gets one, but the spray not connecting for the second, so CLG trade out to 4v4.
And with the Sage dead for CLG, there's no heal for Rise. So that Viper in a tough spot. Zenny able to swing another kill the way of GX3. Claudia looking to make a play out towards the lurk. Underneath tube. The Spike still holding on. Out towards long. Spots out one. Claudia takes her down. It's Annie off the board. Now the operator going to come out on top. Jet v Jet, and Maddie finds a way anyway. Pick up a kill there. Jan just spraying through the smoke, and when you had 8 HP, the Viper's Pit wasn't going to be up for long there. GX3 hang on again. 12-5. 13-5 was the score line in the last. Is that going to be the same story here as CLG go right back to it with full weapons?
They will. Operator still in Maddie's hands, and you know what she can do with that, so it's a good opportunity for CLG, though. They might just try and take things quickly here in towards the A site. On this attacker side, we haven't really seen anything get towards that late round, but we know that Rise can be really strong on the lurk, and you see her posture towards mid initially to try and maybe make a play in that direction. She's trying to make a play, trying to go forward here. It's a double entry now for GX3. So coordinated, the double duelists hand in hand to set them up for a 6th.
Able to bring Benita back, but still a player down, our GX3. Benita does have the Empress online, and... Oh, excuse me, it's Jan with the Empress. Online, so in a decent spot. Keep things in their control. Lacey gets spotted, and dancing around that Hunter Sherry, gonna go undetected. Bow out, though, as Maddie's there to back her up. It's Maddie and Jan again. 4 kills here on the round. You're probably wondering, how are 2 still remaining? Well, that resurrection was used in this one as Rise tries to find a way on the spike down.
Flank.
Tough spot, and yeah, just completely corralled. If they find a couple of kills here, they have to start moving quick because there is that flank coming behind. It's going to be Ali bringing up the rear. What a shot from Rise. Now needs to find another out towards screens. Annie is going to reposition up towards heaven. Slow orb goes down with 30 seconds on the clock. The tap on the spike. Rise now backing probably into the crosshair. I'm assuming of Ali. Now going to be spotted out. Look to take the fight out towards heaven. No way. Out towards 410. Is this how Rise gets it done? The reload comes through. The Viper v Viper. The plant has to go down. It's the slow walk. As Ali creeps around, looking to find the backstab here. Back into the corner, and Ali gets it done. GX3 will hang on. My hands are sweating after that one.
Way closer than it should have been. That was so perfect from Rise. The late player off of her lurk will capitalize fine to isolate that into the Viper v Viper duel, but GX3, they stave it off for a moment, even recovering that operator for Maddie. But look at what this money's like right now. None of these rounds are too clean for GX3 to be winning, so it's light armor for 1, nothing really in reserves, but thankfully for them, CLG, they're down onto this eco, rifle in Naomi's hands. She has to try and be the hero in this round, but she might be walking directly into Madison.
I think Claudia is going to go across the map to try and find that orb. 1 away from the Blade Storm. Not like this. Not like this, Mimi. Benita finds one with the Sheriff, will overheal and retrieve a weapon, expecting Annie push alongside that barrier orb up inside the tube. So the wall not really doing its job. The Owl drone is going to get the information that Benita's still hanging out in the area as Ali looks to creep on up. The crossfire and a cloud burst to sneak Benita away.
He's here. Shot misses initially. to get another one done. GX3, they're down a player, but they still have the weapon advantage, and Maddie's just holding stoic in her approach, and the adjustment so good. Bladestorm so quick out, she gets two. No more, it's Naomi to deny it, but there's still 45 seconds. It's still an even round, and now there are guns recovered for the side of CLG Red. Yellow, it's Benita first to swing up, try and take this fight forward, sees Ali,
30 seconds
but can't
left.
fully isolate the duel. Spike needs to come down eventually, but Benita needs to be the one to fight. It's Jan to best her in the Reina v Reina. Ochoa with the up, holds down, misses the shot. Jan up, Naomi in the clutch, she gets to not like this! Ali denies the clutch and keeps GX3 in it again.
Ali does it again, but it's another nail biter there, Mimi, and the heroics once more. They push up towards B side after finding that early kill from Benita. Claudia is able to grab that ult orb and get the blades online. As soon, and we just catch it right there in the Chipotle replay, as soon as the blades come online, Maddie takes her out, rips her out of the air, and Claudia is no more for the rest of that round. But how many times can Maddie do that? How many times can the heroics keep GX3 in it? It's every single round now at this point has come down to the wire, and it has to be 5 more just like that. I don't know if my heart can handle it.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's going to be rough, but Maddie, she's taking another swing at things. Just the confidence play with the operator up towards A. And well, the Sovalt up for Lacey. I think that was just off of a recon bolt ping, but won't connect this shot.
And the problem with a Hunter Shuri like that is you don't really get a whole lot of information. Just because you missed doesn't mean that somebody's not there, right? That you didn't just go right next to somebody. So kind of back to square one off the back end of that. The Spike slowly moving on up. I say slowly, but quickly moving on up towards the A site. 2 players on the opposite side, though, for CLG, looking to make big flank play. They're not going to push through B. They are going to swing it back around. Claudia tries to find something out towards heaven. Maddie still having the operator in hand, looking to do some damage there, but needs to be able to isolate somebody. Needs to be able to find the shots. Get that crosshair on somebody's grape, and there it is. Not a grape shot, but a body shot. Claudia will fall. Once more, ripped out of the sky. Benita goes unchecked. Able to find one. Dismissed to get away. Still very healthy as Jan trades it back. Rise is hopping on the board as well in a 3v3, making a 2v3. CLG down to the wire once more. The clock is ticking. Jan is falling. The rest of the squad as Rise will clutch it out, and CLG will get it done in 2-0 fashion.
Well, Rise couldn't clutch up before or the time after, but third time is the charm for the Viper as CLG. They complete the 2-0. They continue this lower bracket run and find their way into that lower final. Unfortunately for GX3, that